just Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly Tarot coming to talk. Okay, so lots of big right now, so I kind of want to see. I didn't really, hopefully can watch later. All right, so we are a few days out. Three blue moon, from what I'm understanding, the second new moon in Aries, and it is an eclipse, and eclipses do some beautiful things in that they eclipse energies that no longer serve you out, and they open the door for new things, new beginnings, and change to happen really quickly. We are in some things that are kind of purging. The card we got today for the daily short, if you didn't see that, the daily energy pool was regeneration, which is really beautiful. I think I have a card on top here. And so that's the theme for today. In the last few days, I know I always pay attention to what's going on for me because there's a collective energy in that. And I'm being reminded about, that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, is about reframe the mind, because we are changing nanosecond by nanosecond. So I'm making some new choices. So for myself, I found myself to be much more weepy the last few days, crying things out, a swing on the emotional phase. I think I told you guys a few days ago, I was ready. I didn't feel compatible with Earth anymore. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Beam me up, Scotty. I'm done. But it's not my time yet to go. And we just move through it. Okay. So often when we're going to, and then our next phase of enlightenment, our next phase, it's not necessarily the most comfortable of all the energies that you would go through, but it's really identity, but it's more like versions of ourselves. It's like we're getting the software updates. Some of us are getting hardware updates, but most are getting the software updates where we are rebooting and choosing a new path. And it is theoretical physics. And, excuse me. And they have found already that experimentally, that you can have two things occupying one space at one time, or one thing occupying two spaces at one time. And since time is a construct, right, everything's actually happening simultaneously. All the different versions of ourself, the different it is, we're just an aspect of all that is playing out a human life. And because any of ourselves that are playing out a different life, we can utilize that energy, we can make new choices because the time's having all had some contrast. Contrast is anything that doesn't go the way level, wasn't what you hoped for. Balanced, okay? We are masters of choice. So you are able to choose. Yes, you have a physical makeup. You can make a different choice. And you can also talk to those would be the easiest choice to make. So I've been the power of the now. The now moment is the moment of power. And that has always been what my kahuna taught me, my mentors taught me. Now is the moment of power. If you're anywhere else in time or space, construct. And so you're not actually in the present moment to make the decision. In quantum time, you're in the moment, the now moment, and every manifestation forward to choose a happier or more uplifted or more regenerative timeline. You can choose that moment by moment. So I like to listen to Abraham Hicks' work, and I don't know if you say it or Anka. He's a channel, right? So you guys have seen me do some channeling with, channel messages from your future spouse and that kind of thing, with the energy or the entity that would like to talk. It's a movie, and it's your movie. Everything is already done. And if you don't like it, you just change the channel because you have the remote. And we forget sometimes that we have the remote. But when we're dealing in quantum time, we can choose a different timeline. in order to experience the new change. And I know that seems a little bit out there, but this is a bit of a meditation where you just go inside different versions of yourself, different timelines or imaginations that you would like to experience. So what decision did we make in order to have that outcome? All right, what decision did we make in order to do this? Or you can talk with anyone in time, you know, that would be amazing. So like you're a scientist, because they just showed me Nikola Tesla, and actually onto your meditation, and you could talk with them because they're still like all times all at once, right? Hear Einstein talking about the imagination and the intuition frequency and the ego being the servant. Like it should be that the intuition is the master and the ego the servant, right? But we live in a society where the servant's worshipped rather than the master. And Einstein understood to go inside, and Tesla is also accredited for this, that he would go inside and work the problems out in his mind and speak to those different parts of his mind before doing any of the physical work. Or, hi, sweetie. And so you have an opportunity to jump to the timeline of your choosing, okay? Every moment, every nanosecond, we're doing that. Profound work in profound time. They were able to link up with different versions of themselves. I just got a big ring in my right ear. So we've got some downloads happening. But they were able to link up, and they understood to use that quantum time in a way that was great for them. That's why you hear when we talk about advanced. Well, we're all advanced because of all versions of artists, you know, Great Da Vinci or whatever else, right? So it's like there's these opportunity to live, and all of this is available. Now, I will say, they've even scientifically shown this. So the CIA has released their, I think in 2016 or 17, they've released all of the information about like certain meditations, how to jump timelines, everything like that. So you can go right to the CIA website and look up those things. They have been disclosed at this point, right? So it's not new, the idea of quantum time or how things are working in that sense. But as a tool for your manifestations, for your day-to-day life, you can ask yourself when you're experiencing contrast, okay, it's a state like I was years ago, where I felt like I'm incompatible with Earth. It's time for me to be gone, or available frequency that's higher up, right? And so there were some tears, there were some kind of battling out. I got angry at one point. There is the emotional scale chart, and it lets you know the resonant from time. And when I'm working with quantum healing with my clients, like when I do somatic and hands-on work, I see them in their wholeness. I see them already well. So the disease or the discomfort never existed, and therefore it doesn't exist on my timeline. So I bring them with me to another timeline so that they're in the timeline where they're healed, and their body is perfectly willing to be compatible with that, because it's how the body works. It's used to it. It's our minds that really like move, have judgments about these things. And so moving forward through an update on my timeline as well. But when you think about things, like if you can think about consciousness almost like a diamond, because they're showing, they said the fractals. So if you think about consciousness as a diamond, right? And there's, I think 32 or 34 fractals on a diamond, because you've got 6 sides of the hexagon, and then it fractals out from there. And so each of those is a timeline, a reflection. It's one prism, but there's all the reflections of it. So all that is God, source, that which we are, is all happening at one time. It's one diamond, okay? And again, this is an analogy. It's not a literal diamond, but it's all happening at one time, and we're all pieces of that consciousness. We're all on a fractal line that is allowing that consciousness to come through. okay? And so you can choose whichever fractal that you would like to be on, okay? And so I'm really excited about that for you guys, because even if you're not consciously understanding it yet, your unconscious does know how to move through time, how to make the better choice, okay? So it's very, very simple. Go towards what the next best feeling is. Does it feel good for you? Does it excite you? Does it seem interesting? Does it seem, something you would like to learn, something you would like to know, something that you'd like to experience? You go with the flow and you follow your bliss. And that's how you make your choices, okay? Does this choice feel the most loving? Does this choice feel fun? Does this choice feel, like it's going to be opening for me? Does this choice feel like it's something I would really like to experience? And even if it's been a challenge in the past, that's okay. You're still choosing how you would prefer to learn this information, how you would prefer to live. And that's going to raise your frequency. And as you raise your frequency, you'll have different experiences along the way. I have been able to heal myself, heal clients, completely radically change my life, be invited to live in paradise, all of these things because I wanted to experience it. And I thought that it would be beautiful. And have I had initiations? Has there been contrast? Yes, absolutely. Have I been scared at different times, especially when I first moved to Hawaii? That was a quantum leap. And there was a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn, and I'm 5 years in. And, but I chose quantumly. I chose to move that forward, okay? If you grew up religious like I did, I now look at the Bible differently because the miracles that Jesus did, he was teaching everyone how to do the quantum time, how to heal through frequency, through shifting, right? Through the mind and your belief. Think of things that are noble, praiseworthy, okay? That are good, that are great. And so, and in all the different religious texts, there are pieces of the magic to teach you how to do quantum time. So for my Starseeds and Lightworkers, so much love to you guys because we are going through a shift collectively. You can see that on Earth already. You can see that it's things are changing collectively on the Earth, and then individually we are changing nanosecond by nanosecond, and we're choosing our timelines. We're choosing our preferred way to go. And so for my Starseeds and Lightworkers, that's our job, as it were, to move through the quantum time, through experiencing what is our next favorite thing. What's our next bliss? What's our next thing that's going to be happy, right? My kahuna was always about the party, right? Because he knew to lift the vibration, have a party, enjoy life, experience it, relax, okay? That's how you move through the fractals. And we are doing it right now. So this is your power of choice. So my guides really wanted me to express to y'all that you're doing a great job, right? And especially for my Starseeds and Lightworkers, to remember to utilize quantum time. Everything is happening all at once. So if you're unhappy with how things are going for you in this particular moment, just change the channel, okay? Just change the channel. All is good, all right? You have the remote. You can move on to the next happiest moment, and then that'll increase the momentum for those moments. But since time is a construct, it is all happening at once, okay? And you are able to shift that timeline moment by moment. So stay in the now. In the practice of Huna, like a Hawaiian spiritualism, one of the things is now is the moment of power. Okay, so that is the moment of power right here, right now. So you make your decision in each moment of what is going to be more pleasing, what you prefer, and you make it a statement, not a question, right? I prefer this. And then you be unattached to the outcome. And I think that's where I've been tripped up. Maybe some of you have as well, because there's an attachment sometimes to the outcome of, well, but I really want it to be this way. But if moment by moment you're enjoying your preferred feeling, your preferred emotion that only you can give to yourself, no one else can give that to you, then you're going to move through time and the timelines in just the way that you would like. Doesn't mean there won't be contrast, but you can reframe the contrast to help you find your preference. It means that you've made a whole nother fractal of something you prefer way more, and it's now an available timeline. Okay, so hopefully you guys, that made some sort of sense, because I'm not really all here right now, I can barely see, so I know that this is a whenever my eyesight goes a little blurry while I'm talking to you guys, I know the frequency is pretty high, and I'm kind of somewhere else, so I'll probably watch this live back as well just to get some information. But we are moving at great speed into the next light waves. We're into the next enlightenment phase. And so even Starseeds and Lightworkers, who you've been on your mission and doing your things for a really long time, you're being called to jump to your happiest and highest timeline, all right, and to make those shifts moment by moment. So how you do that isn't this just like drop everything and like, you can quantum leap in a huge way, but the easier way is in each now moment to choose the happier thought, okay, and use your power of choice in the now. That is the much easier way than trying to lift yourself out of the abyss like in a big wave. That's not really how things work, right? So you just kind of add an expectation. So the point is that there's no expectation of outcome. You just choose the feeling, and then the rest will come, because the movie has to manifest in the way that you hold your vibration. So thank you guys so much. I'm loving you, sending lots of love and those frequencies right now, because there's so much change, and it is going to be accelerated change, especially over the next few days. But the eclipses the energy lasts for about 6 months. Okay, so over this next 6 months, expect movement, expect change. So choose your timelines and choose them wisely, because be really focused on the earth you want to live on, how you want to feel, the experiences that you would like to have with others, because we are in that portal of the eclipse season that allows us to go with the flow of nature and make those changes quickly and efficiently. Okay, so love you guys. That's my little short version of quantum time, and I will talk to you soon. So until next time, aloha.